things that have already been said in court, right? That we know of. He said that Melton put up a camera outside of the courtroom. Right, that was the last thing that we had heard. Right, he admitted in court that he watches cuck porn. We went over that. He said that he had recreated his Google search history to match what was put out by Nick. And that's part of the harassment, right? That he said.
Yes.
And so now they're talking about Hackamania and his pictures.
I guess.
And sorry.
Because
that was put into the record.
When I saw that it was going to be an hour apart, I thought, okay, so either no evidence is going to be presented at all and he's going to completely throw it out, or because I knew how much evidence had been collected, I would assume by both parties, in Nick and Aaron's and Melton and Aaron's.
Yeah.
But they're hearing it all. They're on a 10-minute break. I don't know. Yeah, his was supposed to start an hour ago. So what are they going to do? They may push it off another day, and that's...
We can't do this anymore.
It's gone on too long. And,
it's gone on way too long.
They are paying for a lawyer to push back on this stuff. So I hope that he's able to prove all of these lies that he's... I mean, how many has he said that we know about since the stream started? It's... perjury is hard to get a conviction on. But damn, man. Like, how many times can you lie? Here's the thing. We know that he's already told a bunch of lies in the actual application itself, in both of them, Melton's and Nick's. But also with what we've heard him say under oath today, multiple lies.
Yeah.
He's going to have to do that again here in a minute. Hopefully, if it's heard today on Melton. So it's like, how much do you have in you, dude?
Right.
We're all watching, and man.
Question.
Yeah.
If he changes his testimony on like the specifics that could be dealt with on both cases, like situations, because, there can be interchangeable. If he changes his story from one to another, could that be something that, because he's going to be hearing it from the same judge too?
Yeah. The same judge is hearing this. I don't know. You would think, right? Like that would be an automatic, like, I would assume.
Yeah.
JJ says breaking. SP nor Ashley were asked to be sequestered, so it's thought they are not witnesses.
What a fucking mess. I'm sorry. This whole thing is just a mess.
It's his fucking ego. Every single bit of it is because of his ego and his ability to not take an L. He cannot take an L no matter the cost, no matter the self-deprecating, things that happen to him or the injuries that he takes on. What was who was it that said it? Moody, where he was saying something like cut off 2 fingers to save one, or what was
he said he would rather see Nick. He would rather cut off his 1 finger to see Nick
lose 2.
Lose 2.
Right. So it's like that. It's like he will hurt himself as long as it means that he gets the win.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even greatest example though too when it comes to the whole ego thing here, if this is exactly what happened in court, as when someone was telling us that Aaron was arguing with his lawyer and his lawyer was pissed at him because he wouldn't say that he felt or that he was afraid of Nick, or threatened by Nick, and his lawyer was getting upset with him. I know, man, because that's something that we actually talked about when this whole thing came up. Because in his actual words on the HRO petition, which I don't know if they can even use that as perjury too, if you won't say it out loud into the court.
Right.
Is in his petition, he said that he felt threatened, he feared for his life by Nick and by Melton. And if he can't say that openly in court, could that be considered something like a perjury, or was it filing a false report?
Well, I mean, why are we here? If you can't plainly state that, do we need to move any further?
Right.
Luigi Greenberg, everyone.
I was twerking.
I know. I was watching you, and you were kind of look.
There you go.
You threw my attention off. Oh my gosh. Look.
Oh my goodness gracious.
You can get my butt?
Yeah.
Get my butt while I'm twerking?
Of course.
I get low.
I love it. I love it. Luigi, how are you?
I'm great. How are y'all?
Doing well.
Good.
Hey, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but you asked a very specific question that has a very specific answer.
Okay.
And I just didn't, I couldn't have typed it all.
Sure.
But your question was about him saying, or I'm sorry, not saying that he was in fear for his life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a very specific answer, and let me just tell you, it doesn't look good for him. But this was one of the issues that we actually talked about when I was on the show, in that there are two elements to harassment for you to actually win, or I shouldn't say win. Let's just say for it to be declared that he is, in fact, being harassed under Minnesota law.
Mm-hmm.
And those two things were, the first one was that you have to be knowingly threatened, frightened, intimidated, or caused significant negative effects on someone's safety, security, or privacy. And so, I'm sorry, that's the definition for it. And so, without admitting that he was frightened, eliminates the legal definition of harassment. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And therefore, the legal definition is fails to be satisfied. Therefore, no harassment.
Right. So then it should just be thrown out.
It should be.
The second that he was refusing to even say that, the judge should have been like, then what are we doing here? But unfortunately, in America, we're all entitled to due process. Right.
And therefore, you have to give him every opportunity to state his case. And when it starts to fail and when it starts to disintegrate, the judge is then going to say, well, then based on your testimony and based on the facts, here's what I have to come to. And now here's the thing. I really wouldn't be surprised if we don't get a decision today, because the judge is going to take everything and then analyze it and then write out an explanation as to how they came to their decision. Right. So, but I can just tell you, I think we can all agree that it's his ego that's not allowing him to say that he was scared.
100%.
That's going to destroy his argument. So
yeah. I mean, couldn't happen to a better person. Like, there's only so much of this that the world is going to take before you're like, you can't have it both ways. Just humble yourself. And I think the majority of the people that watch him or that have been hurt by him specifically on a personal level, they just want him to be humble. Just take accountability and move on. Take the L.
And the whole point of today's hearing is to ensure that all of the categories and elements of harassment are being fulfilled, and his response is going to be, no, I don't think so. I'm not going to play along. So, bad move, man. Bad move. So,
yeah. I mean, but if you think, I'm thinking like judge-wise, who hasn't been paying as close attention to him or this whole scenario to begin with, could a judge look at him refusing to say that he's threatened as something as he feels intimidated to say it in court, and based on other evidence, the judge can say, okay, you still are granted this restraining order? Nothing's
ever impossible. And nothing is totally outside the realm of potentially being considered, by a judge. However, the issue right now is that he's under oath. He is testifying under oath that everything he is saying is true. Again, I don't want to say with any kind of certainty that it's not possible that the judge can go back and then say that he was being intimidated or something, but that would actually be a different process, and a determination would have to be made. But as it stands right now, he is saying that everything that he is saying in the court is the truth.
Right.
So
I need to pull this up real quick, y'all. Sorry. JJ says, Melton telling that Rekieta hacked Aaron's history is not going into my findings, per the judge. Thank you, JJ. Keep it coming. Keep
And
it
then
coming. We
also have this Aaron getting upset. What's GTG?
Cross-examined. Getting cross-examined, and judge has overruled all of Aaron's attorney objections. Good.
This doesn't look good.
Yeah, I think the judge is starting to be like, okay.
He's starting to piece everything together. Yes.
He said April had never used his computer.
Freedom's lunch, going to bed, but we'll be watching replay. Great to see you do a solo. I do like flexing these muscles every now and then. I don't do it often. I think this is maybe the third time. Oh my God. I think this is maybe the third time I've ever done this. The longest I've done it is probably like 40-something minutes to an hour. It's not so bad.
It's weird. That's like it's one of those lies that you like don't need, right? Like it's an extra thing that's not even any, when there's liars and they just lie and tell you all this extra information that's not necessary and start telling lies that don't even apply.
Yeah, I don't remember any accusation about it, April. But again, I'm not trying to say I'm any kind of expert, but I just don't remember hearing any kind of accusation about April assisting with the hacking of the computer. But I could be wrong.
Okay, so here's the thing. If they were married at the time when this was supposed to, let me back up. If the screenshot was taken by April, it would have to have been while they were still married, right? So that would mean that she had access to at least his account. Now, that's what I mean. He's saying she never used my computer. So that then the assumption is, okay, does that mean that it was, your account with Google was logged on specifically to your computer? And your argument is that April was never on your computer. But he's also said that he's used that and opened up his Google account and stuff whenever he was at Nick's house, because he was streaming from Nick's basement a few times when they went over there to hang out and party and whatnot. So I don't know.
Are there any kind of law, is there any kind of precedent or any kind of law out there that has anything to do with something like this? Like you go over to your friend's house, you log into their computer underneath your profile. You guys have a falling out, but you're still logged into their profile, and like your Google history gets hacked or leaked or whatever.
That's a great question, but I can't think of anything that I'd have never heard of that situation.
Because to me, it's shit. Is it shitty? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not protected information. There are certain things that the government has very specifically said protected information that you can't go around sharing, like medical history, or or stuff you say to a therapist, Someone's internet history hasn't really ever been determined, to my knowledge, as something that the government is interested in protecting. So,
Aaron's attorney trying to keep his revenge porn case out of the hearing. There was another one. Hold on, where'd it go? Mark. Sorry.
Are you kidding me? He's trying to keep that out of the hearing. He filed.
Toe refuses to acknowledge revenge porn case, calls it dissemination. There was another one.
Oh, that's going to go well.
Acknowledge Nick may have been at court to support his wife. That's what he was saying. He was trying to argue that Nick should not have been there at the revenge porn case.
That's what he was trying to argue?
Yes.
Are you serious?
I swear to you. Shit show for $1.99 says Luigi. Who's more shame, Movie's dad or Carmix's dad?
Depends what day. Today, definitely Movie's dad.
Yeah.
Anonymous for 5 says, I have a theory. The judge wants receipts, not because he takes Aaron's side, but rather to have Aaron thrown behind bars. If it's one thing judges don't tolerate, it's people abusing the legal system. I have a feeling they want him gone already. Well,
that's a little bit of a stretch. You're not going to go to jail for a harassment hearing, because the issue is trying to determine if it's real. That's the whole point of it, is to determine if it is in fact a valid, reasonable threat of harassment. Sometimes people get it wrong very honestly. It doesn't mean they're lying. However, my point of all that is just to say Aaron's not going to go to jail for that. He might go to jail for other reasons. But to hear that a judge is annoyed with this, I 100% believe that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And as time goes on and they're pushing through this evidence, I'm sure it's mounting. JJ says the revenge porn case entered into evidence. Now, Aaron is saying that Hackamania is just for making fun of him.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. No, I mean, it's just funny to hear him say, because that's very easily provable to not be true. Now, the revenge porn getting admitted into it is very, very good for Nick, because, like you said, it is establishing that Nick wasn't just baselessly and without reason, quote unquote, harassing and threatening Aaron. It is saying that they, in fact, had a relationship and a reason for him to be concerned about the status of Aaron's life and the status of Aaron's criminal case. So, there you go.
Well,
very good.
At the very, very beginning, that was one of the first things that was asked. Like, how do you know this dude? Like, what is y'all's relationship?
We used to fuck each other's wives.
He said it's complicated. He was like, it's complicated.
Yeah.
And then he started trying to bring up all the drug stuff, and the judge, Nick's lawyer was like, this is out of context. Like, what's the reasoning for this? So Mark says, Toe asked if he ever posted himself without a shirt. He said he did with his own permission, not going through Toe Twitter and showing examples of him doing it.
Now, hold on. I want to make 2 points about this. First off, their lawyer is doing a good job, obviously, if this is all true. But the issue is, the whole point of revenge porn, of course, is to protect people for having something disseminated against their knowledge, that was shared in private, whatever reason. But the thing is, Minnesota goes into very, very good detail as to what constitutes the type of images that can't be sent around. Like I just said about medical knowledge, the government steps in and says, here are types of information we want protected. Well, guess what? The revenge porn is one that they have said, we want it to be very, very closely defined and explained as to what is and what isn't allowed. And guess what is allowed? Male shirtless photos do not qualify as revenge porn. He is really trying very hard to argue a written law that excludes exactly what he's trying to prove, that he had somehow he qualifies to be a protected member of the female gender with breasts.
Well, he should have
amazing.
taken Jesse P.S.'s advice and told the world he's transitioning and he now feels like he's a female. Maybe he would have had a case, especially in Minnesota, for something like that. But also, what does it even matter in this case itself if he didn't even file a report after he knew that those pictures were out there? He didn't file a police report on it at all.
Not only did he not file a police report, he also commented on them. He also talked about them. He also, I don't want to say glorified them, but he made it a point of context on his own show.
This gay guy goes to Hackamania to show pictures of a guy who's in better shape than he is. It's remarkable. Honestly, watching the further meltdown of those people just shows that they thought that Hackamania was their kill shot. And then Aaron comes out and goes, yeah, that was all really fucked up shit to say. That's why I apologized for it and disavowed all of it and came out better on the other side. Like, damned by faint praise, but the pictures he showed of me, I mean, that guy would break that guy in half. I'm in much better shape, which, I don't even bragging about that is whack. I don't think sending topless or like publicizing topless pictures of me again without my permission is necessarily illegal.
Which would suggest that he is now just playing this as a matter of convenience, because even though when it happened, he wasn't offended, now suddenly it's a problem.
Yes.
And
conveniently after he was thrown in jail for 30 minutes for the second time in a year.
Exactly. And now back to my first point is that it shouldn't even be a matter of discussion because he does not qualify as a woman who actually has breasts. If they were taken, if there was a picture taken against her knowledge and sent out to people against her knowledge, for a guy who's constantly trying to reinforce and convince the world how manly he is literally trying to qualify as a woman for female legal protection right now. And it is sad. It is, and it's so ironically sad.
He was saying, he was trying to bring up Hackamania as them showing the topless photo of him. And I guess that would, in his opinion, intimate, right? But it's not by law in the state of Minnesota. We've looked at that before, I think even with Luigi. But he was like, oh, wait, sorry. That was for Patrick Melton case. And so the judge was like, so you don't have any evidence to, support this from this case that's been entered in. No, I don't.
What I was just explaining real quick is that exactly to what you're saying, that for the quote unquote intimate pictures and revenge porn, that there is a very specific line that says that this only qualifies for females because of for anatomical reasons.
Correct.
And he is trying to qualify as a woman for the sake of gaining the legal female, the protection that is entitled to females under Minnesota law. And it's just so funny and ironic for a guy who's constantly trying to talk about how manly he is. It's just amazing. Every rake, he's going to find it and he's going to step on it. If you have any desire to do like a wrap-up show or something after all this gets hammered out, just let me know. Happy to help.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll have to reach out to you. I've got a lot going on this weekend. But yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out because I definitely want to. And we still have Melton's to look forward to. So.
Well, here's the thing. You are right that procedurally there's going to have to be something in place for Melton's, but if this goes off the rails as much as it sounds like it is, don't be surprised if the judge just says we don't need to have Melton's.
Right.
So, yeah.
But okay, wait, I do have one question. Let me ask you this. So let's assume that happens. Let's say both of them get thrown out. I know that Patrick and Nick both are going to be asking for Aaron to pay their lawyer fees, considering this has gone on, plus 2 continuances. Like, this has been drawn out for months now. How does that go about? Like, if they throw both of the cases out, do they just go to the court and there's like a petition where they ask for it, or they ask the judge when it happens and the cases are thrown out? How does that happen?
I honestly don't know. That's a state by state thing. I don't know too much about Minnesota law. But typically what would happen is that either it's, super egregious and the judge orders it, or at some point during the hearing, there'd be some kind of motion or request made, or prior to the hearing, there'd be some kind of motion or request made for something like that. I can't say that I've seen it very much in matters like this that are quasi criminal.
Right.
But again, with judges, nothing is ever impossible, and nothing is
true.
Totally within the bounds of outside the bounds of possibility. So
very true.
And if you wanted to hear more of his in-depth analysis of these HROs, go to our page where he was actually on our show a few weeks ago. And we did a whole show on the HROs, going through some of the lines and stuff, and him giving his expert opinion.
Yep. Looking forward to laughing at Aaron after the day is over.
It's been a wild one.
Toe getting impeached, testified Hackamania bothered him. Now they're playing video of him saying it didn't bother him.
I fucking love it! Oh my
God. Oh my God. He says trolling doesn't bother him. It's a lie intended to misdirect fans. What? All right. So it does. So he's basically saying that it does bother him. He says, all right, when I say trolling doesn't bother me on my program, it's there to misdirect people or to stop trolling. Oh, girl. Okay. Every time I'm about to push play on the video, something happens. Shit. Okay.
Aaron is getting pissed. Number one, he's getting pissed. He's talking about the dissemination of his images, I guess, for Hackamania. Sorry, I ran. Oh my gosh. He said he did not know who took those images. He's just fucking lying, straight up lying. And Nick, I heard Nick say something like, no, you didn't, or something. And the judge or somebody called him out and was like, shut up. But Aaron's saying he does not know who took the pictures
Of
that
him?
of him that were shown at Hackamania. They
The
also
selfies?
the ones in these.
The selfies?
These? The one
Yeah.
outside with the snow? He's still being cross-examined. He
Okay.
said that people watching his show and then talking about it is very different than the dissemination of his images. And he called them private images. And they said, who took the images? And he was like, I don't know. Who took this picture, Aaron? Who took this image?
Right.
Who took this image,
one.
Aaron? Who took this picture, Aaron? This one we know April took. I was told
Mhm.
April also took this one. Now this one, who knows, right?
Right.
Who took this picture, Aaron? Moobie. God, the audacity of just going up there and lying.
It says Nick got caught recording.
He went off screen
Mm-hmm.
and they said that the lawyer said, what did he say? My client has been kicked out or is no longer on or something. And the clerk said something to the degree of, he was caught, or we think he's using something to possibly record
Mm-hmm.
and back on the screen. So I don't know, but that's when they were talking about how the clients couldn't go and discuss things on social media.
Okay. Yeah. They said a client. So they thought Nick was recording, but it was just OBS virtual camera, is what
Yes.
JJ said. Okay.
Yep. It wasn't recording. Nick is clear.
Okay.
Nick didn't get caught recording.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you. Both continued.
Shut the.
So it says setting a whole day aside for both cases.
Y'all.
Can this will never end.
It is never going to end. He
Huh.
said he even got the judge to agree that Melton and Nick can't talk about it anymore.
Ooh.
That's not what I heard, but I may have heard it wrong. I heard that they weren't allowed to discuss it publicly while this was ongoing because they didn't want to create more evidence for both parties. Hey, Tukey, my favorite. He says they're continuing the other cases now. Said Nick and Melton's cases have been resolved for the day. Yeah. Did anybody get the date though? Probably not yet, huh? They'll probably at the end of the day have to push it out and let us know or something. But so he claimed to the judge that he only sent this video for Vito to use on his show. He said if he knew they were showing shirtless pictures of him, he would not have done this video.
Bullshit.
No, and you know that's bullshit. Come on now. No, he knew he wanted to do this. He wanted to send this in to own them. He thought he had a way in with Vito. Vito was willing to do it. Don't you remember when we were watching it live? I messaged you and I was like, they're just letting it play. And
Yeah.
it was like, well, okay. And I thought,
here's another reason why you know it was going to be on Hackamania. The day before Hackamania started, Aaron had even talked about working on something that was going to be played or something for someone for Hackamania.
I do know, I will say I produced a video for someone yesterday. I think that's going to debut at some point today. That is very, very funny. And it's going to shock the shit out of people, I think. I did something yesterday. It's not mine anymore. It's out of my hands. I do have the original, but I think we're putting the person I gave it to is putting the finishing touches on it today. Let's just say it might break a little corner. Might break off a little corner of the internet. That's all.
he knew that there was the picture of the letter
Mm-hmm.
that he had written to April with the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew that there were texts that were going to be shown because there had been some sort of lead up to that and some hinting of that going on. He had seen the little picture of the ring and the letter that he wrote. He knew that some of the dirt that Nick had on him was going to be shown. And really, like, the pictures that were shown, were they embarrassing? I mean, they weren't great pictures, but
Right.
they weren't intimate pictures either.
No.
So it's like,
It wasn't something that was going to make your grandma blush.
Rekieta says, I have been ordered to not comment on pending litigation. Peace, y'all.
So everyone I'm guessing that it will not only be Nick, it will be Melton, and it would be Aaron. They can't say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. But when is it like? When
How
is it
long?
going to be resolved, and how long? Like, what is going on? And does it apply to Melton? Because that, I mean,
Yeah.
he didn't even have he literally did not have his day in court.
That's true. That's true. And it is a separate case. So is he allowed to come on to this little piggy here in just a little while and discuss
Right.
what was observed? Because I'm sure he was in there during this. I don't know.
Because it wouldn't seem fair to lump them both in together when they're two different cases. They were
I agree.
filed on a whole week apart from each other.
100% agree. I mean, I'm assuming that's something Melton's probably talking over with his lawyer now. You're not just some single, young buck that's running around here. You have children. You have a family that, like, he's ruined that name. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. He could have just taken the L and moved on with his life. But he couldn't. He could not do it. He had to have the win, and he will push and push and push and push. And guess what? All of the people that are donating money to him, like, that's where it's going to. He's got to pay this lawyer off. He's got to, all the different cases. But I'm telling you, after sentencing, no matter what happens at sentencing, watch. There's going to be some civil suits coming his way.
Yeah.
October is coming soon.
It is. It'll be interesting.